Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. This is sort of a weird feeling to say this today, but I'm glad it's back. It is officially Taco Tuesday, at least in some time zones, depending on when you're watching this video. And for the first time in what feels like forever, it is also update day here in Call of Duty. Specifically in Black Ops Cold War today, we got the Season 2 Reloaded update, or the mid-season update. And then on the 30th, we're getting the mid-season update in Warzone. But as for today, there's a ton of new changes and new content to check out, thanks to the Season 2 Reloaded patch. And you guys already know, we're breaking all of it down. So if you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. Let's go for 4,000 likes on this one. And of course, if you're new here, or if you're a part of the 55% of viewers who aren't already subscribed to the channel, this is pretty much the one-stop shop for everything going on in COD. So feel free to subscribe to stay on top of the latest news, intel, updates, tips, and pretty much everything else in between. So first things first, yes, this update is an actual title update. Yes, you are going to need to download some stuff before you're able to jump on a Cold War and play some games. On PlayStation, you're looking at 12 gigs. On PS4, you're looking at 7 gigs. On the Series X, it's 14 gigs. On Xbox One, it's 9 gigs. And then on PC, it's 8 gigs. But after you go ahead and download that, you are going to jump onto the game and grind out some matches. So let's start first with all the weapon tuning for Cold War multiplayer, because there was a lot of it in this update. We saw a ton of changes to a ton of different weapons. So starting with the Krig, they improved the visibility when firing in ADS. They updated it to be more accurate with any optic attachment. Then they also fixed the weapon feeling floaty, whatever that's supposed to mean, whenever you are holding down the trigger. Now on the FFAR, they actually increased the ballistic speed by 12.8%, so a slight buff there. The Groza got its maximum damage range increased by 40%, which is actually a pretty significant buff. And for the attachments on all of the assault rifles, they did a complete tuning pass on the muzzle and the underbarrel attachments that affect recoil. So now pretty much anytime you're using any muzzle or any underbarrel for recoil, it's going to feel pretty different from before. Now on the SMGs, on the Milano, they increased the mid-range damage and the mid-range range. Yes, you heard that right. They increased the sprint out speed, they increased the raise speed, they increased the ADS in speed, so now pretty much the Milano is better than ever as well. On the KSP-45, they increased the ballistic speed and they reduced the burst delay. On the AK-74U, they reduced the accuracy with prolonged firing, then they also reduced the muzzle velocity a little bit. On the LC-10, they reduced the max range and the mid-range damage, so definitely a very noticeable nerf there for sure. On the MAC-10, they modified the bullet pattern for more horizontal recoil, and on the attachments in general, they also did a full tuning pass here for all the muzzle and underbarrel attachments meant for recoil. So basically, same deal as with the rifles, things are going to feel a bit different there now. Then for the LMGs, on the Stoner, they reduced the range by 25%, again, a pretty significant nerf. On the Snipers, they disabled glint when you're using your iron sights and your iron sights alone. On the pistols, they increased the ADS speed on the 1911, and on the Magnum, they decreased the hipfire accuracy. With the dual wield attachment, the trajectories are now a lot more varied, so it's not going to be as accurate. Then they also changed the takedown barrel to the tight snub barrel for damage against enemies and vehicles. On the launchers, they increased the blast radius, then also the length of a straight rocket path on the RPG. Then just in general, launchers now inflict more damage to enemies that have flak jacket on in hardcore. However, you do still need to direct impact them in order to get that one-hit kill. They also updated the infantry V-choke in general, and players can now earn weapon XP and challenge progress for any weapon they're using or any weapon they pick up. And that means that if you pick up the LC-10 and let's say you don't have it unlocked, if you get a couple of kills with it, you're still able to earn some weapon XP for that and some challenge progress for that, despite you not having it unlocked. Honestly, that's a super cool change in my mind. Definitely glad to see that in there. Now, the movement was also adjusted in this update. They reduced the speed of changing stances from standing to crouching to proning, aka snaking is now going to be a lot harder. In the combat record, they added vehicles and they fixed the killed by stat not being accurate. Then on top of that, Treyarch also made a lot of changes to the maps and then also to the modes in this update. So looking at the maps here, on Apocalypse, they fixed a hardpoint issue. On the Pines, they fixed a control issue. On Raid, they fixed a hardpoint issue. On Garrison, they made multiple changes to control and hardpoint. And on the original version of Miami, they scaled down the bullet collision on the van. Now, for the modes, they updated Prop Hunt, and now Miami Strike and Satellite are in the rotation. They added in the brand new mode of Multi-Team Hardpoint, which I think honestly sounds super fun. Basically, in this, you have 10 teams of 4 players playing against one another. These hard points actually last for 120 seconds, and it's the first squad to 1,000 points that wins that match. Definitely a very big difference compared to the normal 6v6 hard points. Then in addition to that, in Control, they added some new game options. In VIP Escort, they fixed a VO issue. Then just in general, enemy red dots are now going to be prioritized on top of objective icons, which is definitely a very big change. It'll basically now be way easier to see people whenever they're on a flag or, on a bomb or in hard points, so on and so forth. Also, over in League Play, the Lawbreaker wildcard is no longer allowed for primaries and second primaries to be used on your loadouts. Then Perk Greed is completely restricted as well. Then, getting into the content side of multiplayer, we of course got a brand new playlist update this week, and here we've got Miami Strike 24/7 to kick things off. Honestly, this is a pretty good map in my mind compared to normal Miami, which, let's be real here, that's setting the bar pretty low. But here on Miami Strike, the lighting is better. It flows way smoother since it's not as big. Very action-packed, if you will. Solid playlist for sure, like I said. We also have multi-team hardpoint, specifically on Golova, so it's just Golova 24/7 there. However, if you would rather play on Golova and Ruka and Alpine and Sanatorium, there's also the standard multi-team mosh pit as well that has all the maps in the rotation instead. Then we've also got the newly updated prop hunt mode in there. We've got the snipers only mosh pit, the Nuketown 24/7 playlist, Gunfight, which has the brand new map called Mansion in there, then finally Face Off, which also has Mansion available to round things out for this week. Now, looking at the zombies content and changes, we of course have the brand new Sanatorium night map added to Outbreak, so that's now explorable and playable. Then alongside that, there's the brand new secure objective where you have to take out enemies in a certain place. We've got the brand new dirt bike vehicle available as well. And then there's also some new intel to be found too. Then for all the back-end fixes and whatnot here, there is literally a ton of them in this update, ranging from stability to some gameplay stuff related to certain issues getting fixed. If there's a problem with zombies, it's probably mentioned in these patch notes. There are just lines and lines and lines of changes for zombies specifically, so we're not going to go over every single one of them, or we'd probably be here till the end of Season 2, but I will have them all up on the screen in case you just want to pause the video and read through them in full detail on your own. Also, just a heads up, at least as I'm recording this video, as the update is going out, there is no store update as of right now, and that's kind of the confusing part about this patch. We're not really sure when we're going to see the store update just because of the whole update timing. Of course, usually we see the store refresh on Thursdays alongside the weekly playlist updates, but since we have the Cold War update now and the Warzone update in like 24 hours from now, we can probably expect it to change with the Warzone update at the latest. But just in case you're wondering, as of right now, Wolf is not available yet through the store bundle, nor is anything else set to come with the Reloaded update, at least on the store side. So yeah, there you have it. With all of that being said, that is effectively everything that ended up changing in the brand new mid-season update for Cold War, and that's going to wrap things up for today. If you enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it. And of course, if you're new here and you want to stay up to date with everything going on in COD, from news to intel to updates, you name it, it's all right here. So feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on. That way you'll always know whenever I upload a new video. As always, if you want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code IMMORTAL for a discount on all Scuff, G Fuel, and Control Freak products. And the links for all those can be found down in the description below. But once again, thanks so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.